My name is Billy. I play in the band Am0ra. I sing, scream. I do that type of thing. I also I book tours. I book shows. I do a bunch of our graphic design. I'm kind of like the business guy of the band in a sense. I
Yeah.
can't write a song if my life depended on it. I mean, I can write lyrics, but I can't write instruments. And but where I sub that out is just doing a lot of the business stuff, a lot of the communicating, a lot of
Hmm.
all that type of thing. I think every band needs someone like that.
Someone to just run the sticks. I got you.
Yeah, for sure. Because in my mind, it's like you can write the best song ever, but if you don't really know how to like communicate or book shows or like do
Sure.
something like that, then you're not gonna like get it out there.
You got to have someone that's just like dedicated to like pushing the band and like allowing
Yeah,
it to kind of grow. So
yeah,
respect to you, Billy.
absolutely.
But
Yeah, because like,
I
dude, the guys can write really amazing songs. I can't. But like like I, they do that. I do this.
There we go. Well,
Yeah.
Billy, I appreciate you for coming on. I want to give two shouts to Jed from Alive in Fiction, and as well as Alex from Bottom Shelf. They have
Yeah.
been
They're-
telling me to have Billy on for a little bit, and we were just talking off camera a little bit about how we basically crossed paths for our entire musical careers and didn't even
yeah.
realize it. So, shout outs to that. But go check out both Bottom Shelf and Alive in Fiction. They're great people. But
Heck yeah.
getting back to you, Billy, and just Am0ra in general, I always love asking about this because I'm just a band nerd. Obviously, have a YouTube, in regards to that. So I feel like I have to
Yeah.
ask you this question. How did you start out with Am0ra? How'd you get all your members? And
Hmm.
basically how did it all come together?
All right, let me think. Let me go back in time. I feel like the more years we go on, the more I forget this story because it's like not getting old, but getting old.
Yeah, I got
You
you.
our guitar player Tristan and I have been like best friends for a very long time, and we've always like started bands together. And the amount of bands that we started is like almost like countless. And I was always more of like the heavy like music guy. He was more of like the pop punk guy when we had
Okay.
some like crossover. And we always like you're like talking about like it'd be cool if like I was in like a melodic hardcore band and he was in like a pop punk band, and we would just tour together and just like be best friends. And as cute as a love story that does sound.
Oh, yes, it
um,
does.
but one time, my first job ever was actually second job because my first job was working at a Honda Cornwalk. But like when I was like I'm 26 now, so when I was about like 17, 18, maybe a little bit of 19, but like around that time, I was working at a Wendy's, and
Nice.
this guy comes through our drive through Warped Tour shirt on. I comment his Warped Tour shirt, and then he hit up a mutual friend of ours at the time and was like, "Hey, do you know this guy?" And she's like, "Yeah, that's Billy. Like, he plays music and stuff like that. And like, this guy played guitar." So that person proceeds to hit me up and is like, "Hey, I have a drummer. I have a drummer. I heard you like play music. You want to start a band?" And
Yeah.
I'm like, "Yeah, man, I'm down." Like we had like a lot of the same like interests and stuff like that. And then Tristan was with me, and he was like, "Yeah, I'll win in on this." I'm like, "Yeah, sure." So we all met up at the Wendy's, and it was like us. It was Brian, our drummer, our original guitarist Tyler at the time, and we were talking about just like what to do, and just making a band. And Brian Brian has a signature question, and he even asked us when Chris joined the band, and it's really funny. But he looks at us, he's like, "Y'all any good?" That is the most like, how do you answer that question? Like, that is the toughest question. And when someone asks you that, it's like, y'all any good? And we proceeded to have like a practice. We had our friend Alex playing bass, but I think we all kind of mutually agreed to like not move forward with Alex just because Alex is great, but like Alex had so many things going on at the same time. Like I think he was joining the Marines. He was like had this job. He was like doing all this stuff, and we're like, little too much. But
Sure. Yeah.
yeah, he actually did guest vocals with us a few times, like at shows. Like he'll pop up and do that. But so uh, we wrote our first song, Hollow Bastion, and proceeded to write more after that. And then we hit a point where, like, I think I still didn't know Brian at the time, so I must say I was like a little intimidated by him. Like, he's one of my best friends now, and I love him. But like, he's like, I want 3 shows by the end of summer or like by the end of August. I'm like,
Oh shit.
uh,
Okay.
I'm like, all right, and that's exactly what happened. We booked 3 shows. We booked 3 shows, and then we kind of just went from there. We wrote our first EP in lieu of, and put that out ourselves, and just like hopped on whatever show we could. So, played whatever. And I want to say like that was kind of like the start of the band. And I don't think we almost didn't make it to our second practice because we were like, we don't know if it's gonna like pan out. But then like someone's like, all right, so like when are we getting back? When are we like getting back
Yeah.
together? And then I forgot to talk about Nick. Nick came in the band. So we put out a thing like looking for a bass player,
Sure.
and Nick hit me up. Nick was like I think one of the only few people hit me up, but like Nick was like the one who hit me up. But like his picture, it's actually his picture on Facebook. It was so funny. It's actually my contact photo for him, and it's like him in this bowl cut like down to here, and like it's just like who is this kid? He's like, yo, dude, I'll play bass for you. I'm like, all right, yeah, come to practice. But then he came in, and then me and Tristan realized we met him at a show like prior to that. We're like, oh, we know who you are, okay.
Oh, great.
And he jammed, and like he just was so stoked. And then we all went to Taco Bell, and then at the time Tyler was just like, so I think he's in the band, or like is he in the band? Because like we were thinking about like, do we try out other people? And we're like, yeah, he's in the band, and it's been all us ever since. Except Tyler did leave at one point, and then we were a 4-piece for a while, and then Chris, who's our guitar player now, he was in and out of a few different bands, and we always like were friends, and like always like hung out at shows and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And talented, amazing guitar player, I have to say, and we were about to play Siren Records in Doylestown, which I think you've probably been there at some point or know of it. And we just started demoing Martyr. So like I think we just had like the demos of like how blue the ocean is. And Tristan and Nick were in like the car, and like they're obviously when you get stoked on demos, you got to invite other people in and to like hear them the car test. And they invited Chris, and Chris was like, dang, I want to be playing this music so bad, And Tristan and Nick looked at me, he's like, do you want to? We need somebody. And we were all on Sign Records, and like we told Brian, Brian, I don't think Brian and Chris met yet at that point. And like we're all like huddled. We're all huddled. We're looking at him, and then we're like all huddled again. And like Brian goes up to him and like, so you any good? Yeah, he went him through that treatment, and then his band at the time and our band played a show in Harrisburg like a few weeks after that, and like that was his tryout in a sense, and we're all like, yo, he's so good, we have to have him. So he's been in the band ever since, and that's been our only member change, which has been pretty cool. Like we've all been very consistent with each other. But that's I want to say like that was pretty much like the origin of the band.
That's pretty cool. Like I'm glad that you guys all kind of bonded over the same music. It's always interesting for me to hear like how bands start. I always feel like for me as just kind of like a person that, generally has enjoyed, the alternative scene of music. I feel like if anything, like it's cool for me to maybe hopefully inspire other people, or you can inspire other people to maybe, start a band. Cause literally you guys just had met in like a Wendy's parking lot, and we're like, yo, let's do this shit, so I feel like anybody can start a band and do that stuff. But
and it's you will spend so many years of your life in random basements and all that and like it just either works or it doesn't, and there's that one that just like it sticks, and that was this band.
That's awesome. Well, kudos to you, Billy. It's been really sick, and also just kind of like seeing your band without even knowing you before that. I know it sounds very strange, and
where'd you see us at?
I've seen you a couple different times. Since since we both live locally in Pennsylvania, I've seen you just on some bills and stuff, and like it's cool to see you guys play in kind of the different iterations, going till now. And obviously I haven't seen you more currently just because I just moved out to Pennsylvania, but I'm hoping to see you guys play very soon. Because I think I just finished listening to Stay Pony, Golden Boy, and I was like, I gotta hear this shit live. So I'm very excited. But Speaking about which, you guys signed to Heading East Records very
Yep.
recently.
Mm.
I want to kind of know how that all began. How did that
Yeah.
start? Because I imagine for you doing this for as long as you have been, that must feel like a very gratifying feeling that people are like,
Yeah.
"Holy shit!" Like they're actually looking at me and like trying to like see my band and stuff, and that's awesome.
Yeah, no, I remember putting that Instagram like Facebook post up, and it just like it was like one of the few posts that like blew up. I was like, oh wow, wow. But so we Heading East is owned by Fred Mascherino. Fred is the former guitarist of Taking Back Sunday, you already know, and like the
I do.
guitar player of the Color Fred. Chris was I think he still does to this day, but he was getting guitar lessons from Fred for a while,
Oh,
and like
cool.
they developed a friendship, and then Fred came out to one of our shows, and oh my god, this was so funny because like I remember the show was Actor Observer headlining in at the Chameleon Club, and we were playing like right before him, and it was like you've been to Chameleon Club before, have you? Okay, so it was in like in one of the smaller rooms, and like the next room, I think Cave In was playing.
Oh,
So
cool.
that's all packed, and like obviously like everybody in music is there. But Fred went to that show, but he popped over to us, and I think like our show maybe had like 20, 30 people. Like it was still solid, like it was cool.
Yeah.
But that day I had a migraine while playing, and like I
Oh,
had to like ice my head, and like I felt so off. And then like I like look up and I see Fred's like shadowy figure, and I'm like,
no.
oh. And but we talked after, and he did a podcast with Shane, like he was on Lead Singer Syndrome, and like I'm in that Lead Singer Syndrome All Access club, like with Shane, and I was like, yo, hey, your podcast is really good with Shane, and then like we just like talked from there, and like we hit it off, and just everybody who talked to him like hit it off, and then as time went on, Fred wanted to record us, and we're
Oh,
like,
cool.
yeah, let's do it, and we recorded with him, and like Stay Pony was recorded with Fred, and we did an EP with him that we're working on figuring out how we're gonna release it currently. But yeah, so we spent I think it was like inauguration day or something, I forget. That was the first day of like us going into the studio, and I just remember like that detail of it. But that was our first day, and then we spent months with Fred, and just he brought out the best in us, and we recorded 5 songs with him, and cool things, we got to use some of this old taking like we got to use like the same guitars that like he'd use in Taking Back Sunday. We got to like
What?
use a lot of really cool stuff, and like all these like little like there's like all these like little like Easter eggs and
That's
nods
great.
for like
Wow.
things. Yeah. um Fred even helped with some of the bass on the record too, so like
Nice.
like there's parts where like he's like playing bass, and it's just like no one was mad about it, because it was just helping us out with like some like just like detail stuff, or just like things like that. But it's like you can have Fred sing on your song, but oh wow, he's playing bass, like that's cool. Yeah. So but yeah, so as time went on and we were finishing the record, he said he was going to shop it out to a few people, and he did shop it out to some labels that were it was really cool that he did that.
Yeah,
And
that's awesome.
yeah, and with that though, the few that he shopped it out to, they heard it, they liked it, but they weren't looking to sign. And I was like, it's okay, I got it. And he was just Fred turned around and he was like, yo, I've had this idea for a long time, and I want to do it, and I want to do it with you guys, and that's Heading East Records. So um, it's yeah, and it's I would say it's like kind of like a collective thing.
Sure, yeah.
Like if I were to compare it, like actually no, I can't really compare it to anything. Like I want to compare it to like Odd Future and like how that was like a collective and all that.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
like
yeah.
it's a small collective thing. Like we all help each other, we all help push each other,
Oh,
and
that's
like
awesome.
there's a few other bands on there too. There's one band called Mighty Tortuga. They're like really good if you like Death Cab for Cutie and the State of Connecticut. That's the way I describe them. Like they're really good. They just put out a new single called Forgive and Forget recently, and it was awesome. And then trying to think of who else. I just don't want to mess up anybody's names because like usually I have like I have like a list in front of me, but I'm just mess anything up. But yeah. So actually, uh, I don't want to mess her name up. Fred's daughter plays music, and it's Lolito, I think she goes by, and like her stuff is great. Like it's
Oh,
like
that's awesome.
yeah, um, like kind of poppy, rocky. Like it's nice. And I think there might be one other. Oh wait, Color Fred's also on it. Okay, so yeah, so we're doing it all. We're doing it all together, and we're kind of like this is the start of it. So yeah, Fred turned around. We're like this is actually kind of cool because it's like if we were to hop on like something bigger, I can only imagine we'd be like the bottom of the barrel, and like with this, it's like we're kind of the focus, even if it's smaller. And I think that's kind of we were all just like that would be kind of a good stepping stone from going like DIY into
Sure.
like a whole new world because like another thing too is we've done things DIY for so long that I feel like I mean for me personally there's a lot of things where like I feel like I hit my ceiling with or like
Yeah.
that I can't like you know bring to the band like I used to
Sure.
like I whether it's like ideas or like opportunities or something like that like I feel like I exhausted a lot of that and like there's maybe some things I can still do and like I will always still do my part but it's not bad to have someone come in and help you. If anything, I
Sure.
think that works a lot. And we've been doing some live streams with Fred. Like we're still panning out the label. We're still like doing things and figuring stuff out. And Stay Pony was kind of like the introduction of like this is who we are. This is where we are. And like it's our first song in like 2 years. But we've been doing some like live streams with Fred. We're working on some like content and stuff. But like a
Cool.
lot of the people that like have been checking us out through Fred and Heading East are like genuinely interested. And I think that's like a really cool thing because you can put out a song and like, you know, like we've had like the Spotify playlist treatment, we've had all that
Yeah,
and
yeah.
like it's cool, but you also got to think of like how many of those people like actually like your stuff or
Are
like they're
dedicated
listening
fans.
and not like I don't like it, like the people that like the new people that we've been like seeing come into the band are like really into the band and really into like our future and I think that's a really cool thing.
Yeah, it's the dedicated dedication to finding like local bands and like really trying to get
Yeah.
behind them, and that's kind of for me my like
Mhm.
my ethos of doing audio addiction is just basically finding these local bands. Like obviously there are some bigger bands I have on that I've really loved, and that like to me is always going to be the dream. I'm
Yeah.
always going to try to keep striving for some of those bigger acts, but honestly when I tell people about the channel, like I want them to check out, like I want them to check out Mora, I want them to check out smaller
Mhm.
bands that like
Yeah.
people don't know about, that like I'm really stoked about. And just the
Mhm.
fact that you guys are from Pennsylvania too is also really great because I can adamantly speak about that sort of stuff because I've seen you guys play locally. So
Yeah.
I think that that's really cool. The song State Pony Golden Boy, I'll leave in the description, but honestly it was so cool because I've always been a big fan of melodic hardcore, and I feel like you
Mhm.
guys really kind of like hit that point that like it's just got this really like raw energy to it, and that's I think to me that's what's always stuck to out to me with
Mhm.
your band, is just that you guys have some really great raw energy to your tracks. And I'm glad that Fred and just like Heading East were able to kind of obviously
Yeah.
see that in you guys, and obviously best of luck going further. And guys, check out all the other bands on Heading East. I'm sure they're fantastic as well. But
Yeah.
um but that's really cool, Fred, to and you don't really hear that too much either. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like somebody to be um that crucial or that invested in a local band.
Mhm.
I feel like that's really big, and like honestly I think
Yeah.
that just shows a lot of a lot of character, a lot of heart that Fred has for like local bands and just the scene in
Yeah.
general. So big kudos to
Absolutely,
him.
man. Yeah, there's a lot of things like we didn't even talk about the label or anything to like, the end of the recording process, like the last like few days. And even with that, like he went from someone that's just like, someone I met at a show or like, it's like, oh, like he was in like TBS and all that. But
Yeah,
like
yeah, yeah.
he went from that to like a mentor to me, I would say. Like there's times where like him and I will have like phone calls about like, the future and like what we
Yeah.
tried doing. And like, just being in a studio with him was like one of the coolest things. Like on this new record, I actually sing for the first time, which actually on Stay Pony, I sing a few lines in the middle. If
Hmm.
you I don't know, I'm
Yep.
still trying to figure out if people pick up on that because
I
like,
did, yeah.
okay, cool. It's always been like Tristan or Brian. Like everybody's on vocals in this band at some point, both like clean screaming, except like me. And actually, Nah, I don't know if I don't think Nick's done clean singing on the record. He has screamed on Martyr twice, but with yeah, you know, it's new, and I remember the first thing we recorded. There's this one singing part in this one song that hasn't come out yet, but it's called In Translation, and like the ending is the very first thing that we did for like vocally for the record because I was heading up to his studio and Pro Tools wasn't working that day. And,
Oh,
you know, the other guys were going to join, but they, you know, I left earlier and like they all were like, all right, we're going to stay back. But then I was like 2 minutes from Fred's house. I'm like, hey, man, can I just like come by and just hang out? And he's like, yeah, sure, you're fine. And I was there. And then he's like, hey, it's working. You want to do vocals? I'm like, yeah, sure. He's like, what do you want to do first? I'm like, I want to try the singing part I've been like really trying to do. And we did it. And it was just me, Fred, and like it's just like the energy was there, and it's like the highest singing like I've ever done. And you know, it took like a whole like few hours to nail down this like, you know, 40-second part. But
yeah.
even just like that, like you can just tell like from there, I was like, this is gonna be like a really magical time like doing this. And just watching how he took care of like all of us and just, you know, made like focus on the sound and like how, you know, how it's gonna come out, how is it gonna be to like a general public, to, you know, all that. And like, you know, him throwing his own style on it was just like, yeah, really, really cool.
Well, that's awesome, Billy. Again, shout outs to Fred from Heading
Yeah,
East. He's
shout
really
out to
doing a
Fred.
great job. So,
Mm.
guys, check that out, and obviously check out Am0ra. But the next question I have for you, Billy, kind of in relation to that, who are you guys influenced by? Who did you get influenced by early on, and then who influences Am0ra more currently now?
Yeah. Good question, man. I have to say for everybody it's a little different.
Sure.
Like we all have our own like personal like, you know, we all have our own personal influences, but we all have like a common like Venn diagram, like middle ground.
Yep.
Um, it's like if I can speak for like, you know, Tristan's really into like, I mean, when the band started, like Tristan's been like really in like pop punk
Sure.
and
Yeah.
you know, some heavier stuff. I mean, like, you know, you know, like trying to think, like he didn't go like too heavy, but like he liked like a lot of like the heavier things or like the post hardcore stuff. Like
Sure.
Silverstein's one of his favorite bands.
Sure. Yeah.
And oh, also I don't know if you saw that Shane told wore our shirt the other day and Trent and I'm like still bugging about that.
What? That's so
Yeah,
sick.
yeah, we hung out beforehand, and I gave him the shirt. not to
Oh.
spoil the secret, but like, you know, we had a, like a little podcast group meetup, and like I gave him one of our shirts as like a thank
Oh,
you because
that's
like
so
he
cool.
interviewed me, and then like he's like, yo man, this is cool. And then like yeah, walks on stage with it, and like Tristan and I could not stop laughing. Like we were just laughing. I think there was a few tears shed. We were like taking photos. We're like, yo, this is crazy. But
Oh, that's so awesome.
yeah, but
Shout out to Shane.
yeah. So Tristan's very into like Silverstein, The Wonder Years, The Used.
Yeah.
Chris is a huge Used fan, My Chemical Romance fan. But then like me and him like really love bands like Thursday and like Glass Shawn, Touche, Amore.
Yeah.
Ryan is very like loves Balance Composure, loves like the Mars Volta, loves you know, just everything and anything. He loves jazz a lot. Like when you would get in the car with Brian, he would have the AC on and just like jazz, and it's the most just rad ever. You can get in traffic, you can almost get hit by a car, and like you will all yell for like 1 second, and then it's just back to jazz, and it's nice.
Back to jazz.
Nick
Yeah.
is Nick loves Nick's favorite band I want to say is like Enter Shikari, and like he loves like Nick also produces, so like he loves like EDM, electronic,
Oh,
like
cool.
DMB, like stuff like that. But he loves like Enter Shikari, and then he loves like very heavy bands. Like he was like obsessed with like Eavesdropper for a bit. I remember, yo, Z Dog, yo, dude, Eavesdropper, so sick. Like that's what he sounds like. And then like we played a show Eavesdropper, like, yo, hey Nick, we're playing with Eavesdropper. And he was so hype, and like he, you know, he gets like hype over those things. But like I'm like very like my favorite artist right now, I would say, or like one of my biggest influences was the band Adalia, and like when we got Jorge on one of our songs on Martyr, I thought that was like really cool. I mean, like
Oh,
not
sick.
just like I'm friends with those guys, but like just the whole full circleness of
Yeah.
it was
Yeah. Yeah.
like just really cool. So like Adalia was one of my all-time favorites. I write so many of my lyrics, and actually a few of the songs on Martyr have like like Easter eggs, like Adalia lyrics
Sure.
too.
That's awesome.
You know, I have a Thursday tattoo. So Thursday's one of my favorite bands. Touche Amore. I love Mac Miller. Mac Miller is one
Ooh,
of my favorite.
nice.
I was listening to I have almost his whole discography on vinyl, and I was listening to like the A side of Circles before we got on here. Like I literally took the needle off the record, and like as I was getting on with you. But Mac Miller is one of my favorites, and that's a whole other podcast because I can talk about Mac Miller for so long. I love him, and he's like, in a way, he's like the brother I never had. And
Oh, that's awesome.
yeah, but Mac Miller is one of my favorites. Trying to think of what else. Glassjaw is one of my favorites. For Holding Absence has been like a huge influence too. Like that show the other day was great. Yeah, I'm trying to think of who else. I'm like looking at my walls trying to see if I have anybody. But yeah, just like a lot of stuff like that. Like I try to like sometimes I can't listen to like heavier music all the time just because like when you spend your whole like when you work in it and you listen to it, you play it, you do all that. It's kind of like it does like kind of not get stale, but you want to save it for like so you can listen to it and be like, dude, I love this. Like this is great. Instead of just like hearing it all the time. Like, all right, I'm bored. But I'll listen to like hip hop, I'll listen to like really chill things, and I'll listen to I don't know, I listen to everything. I don't think there's a bad genre of music. I actually I work as a house manager at a Sellersville Theater.
Oh, nice.
And
Okay.
it's not our demographic whatsoever, but every day I see something new and really cool, and like even things I didn't think I'd be into, I would be into it. Like I even saw like a couple like country artists that like they're not like country like I got a soul in my truck, like not like that, but like they're like dark, emotional, almost emo country, and I love it. I love it. There's this one band. I didn't work with them, but actually one of my like low key favorite bands is a band called Alcoa, and it's Derek from the Beaters side project. That's like dark country. Oh, it's so good, dude. It is so nice. Like it's just oh man, like I don't smoke, but you want to like light a cigarette and drink whiskey to it. Like that's just what you want to do. It's just so good.
But yeah, no, I feel like you guys, I did see the Touche Amore poster on the back, and that was like in my head. I always have this game like, what are these, the bands that I have on, who are they influenced by, and if I could get kind of in the ballpark of what I feel like, you guys kind of, similarity sound wise, like. I was like Touche Amore was one. Counterparts I feel like is another good one.
Yeah, Counterparts is a great one.
And then I would say I would definitely say like the Used. I kind of got like an emo-ish kind of vibe from it. So if there's 3 bands that I kind of had to, if I had to go up to some random person on the street and say you should check out this band, and these are 3 bands that I feel like they would kind of culminate with, that those would be my 3. So I feel like
Say Pony actually Say Pony reminds us a lot about what's the first Touche, or not the second, like not the first one. Oh, To Beat of a Dead Horse. Yeah,
yes,
like that's like our like To Beat of a Dead Horse, pretty much.
I could see the similarity. So definitely, guys. I already left the song in the description, but go check it out anyway. But keeping it more current, Billy. I think we kind of alluded to it, but I figured I'd give the actual answer. But who are you listening to currently? You just said Mac Miller, but are there any other artists you're listening to besides Mac?
I went to go see a show the other day. Actually, I did photos at it. My friend tour manages Beartooth, so
very nice.
Yeah, and I got to see that tour, like Beartooth, Silverstein, Devil Wears Prada. I got there late, so I didn't get to see Am0ra, but Era's still sick. But
yes,
seeing Devil Wears Prada in this time of age is like so cool because like they still sound so. I'd never seen them before. That's like the one band I'd never seen, and they played like a lot of old stuff and a lot of new stuff, and like it was like a perfect balance. I think they ended with one song off Dear Love, and I forget which one it was, but it was just so hype. And then like that was a good show. Beartooth's been a band. It's been like when I first started listening to them, I wasn't really like into them, but I always like respected them. Like I don't try to like hate bands or anything like that.
Same.
I try to be like, okay, like it may not be my thing, but like I like this, or like someone else can like this. And then they put out Disease, and I was like, okay, actually like I'm starting to really dig this. And then they put out Below, and like I even have the shirt on.
Yeah, I was gonna say you got the shirt on.
Yeah, but Below is such a phenomenal album. I really like that. But I'll listen to stuff like that. What else have I been listening to? I listen to a lot of chill hop. Like chill hop will just be playing in the background.
Oh, nice. All right.
Yeah. Koyo is a really good one too. Koyo is a really good band. Trying to think of what else I would listen to. Stuff like that. There's some trying to think of like hip hop artists I listen to sometimes. I listen to Am0ra. I'm a huge Am0ra
Nice.
fanboy. I'll
Yeah.
be real.
Yep.
I've been listening to Am0ra forever. Actually, you know what's funny? The day Being as an Ocean dropped, Asher put up a photo of like him at my friend's brewery in Philly, like Human Robot, and I hit him up like, yo, if you see Dylan, tell him Billy Z says what's up. He's like, then he hits me up like 15 minutes later. Yo, we just had a nice talk about you, man. Like, you know, tell me how he knew you, and I'm like, oh, thanks, yo. Like, I was like, hey, listen, our band was supposed to play the church today, and it dropped, and this made my day so much better. He's like, oh, hey, man, sorry to hear that, but I forget what he said, like, more opportunities coming, don't worry. And I'm gonna. It was like an Instagram like mess. I'm gonna like screenshot it and frame it. That's what I'm planning. But
That's awesome.
yeah, trying to think of what records do I have. I have a whole record collection behind me.
Same. Yeah. Well, not
Yeah,
behind me, but
Counterparts, Deftones, Thursday all the time, War all the time. But
nice.
yeah. Trying to see. I cannot. Julian Baker is one of my favorite artists of all time. If
Oh,
Nick
yes.
is hearing this, me saying that right
Yes.
now, he is just like inside. He was Julian Baker, dude, because like I would always tell people like, yo, Julian Baker, dude. It's like Julian's great.
Oh,
Yeah, Julian Baker's one of my favorite artists of all fucking time, dude. She's awesome.
she's fantastic. I regretted it heavily. I think I missed her the last time she was in town in Philly, and
Oh, dude, I saw that.
I need to
Yo,
see
she
it.
had a band with her. Oh, it was so
Oh
good.
no! Oh man.
Yeah,
I have to. Yeah, Julian Baker is one artist that I haven't seen yet that I'd want to see live.
yeah.
Same with like Phoebe Bridgers.
Phoebe's great.
She's also great. And then all I'm saying is, and I'm gonna put it out in the universe. I'd love to see. I'm wearing a City and Color shirt, so I'd love to see.
Oh, City and Color is fantastic.
Julian Baker, Phoebe Bridgers. I feel like I would.
That'd be sick if it was all the same show. If it was all the same show, that'd be awesome.
Oh, I would kill for something like that. But
yeah.
Great recommendations. I will say, you know, I know we mentioned it earlier in the podcast, but Holding Absence has been, as soon as after I left the show, I was like, I have to go back, listen to like Greatest Mistake of My Life, and like, you know, they're self-titled and stuff like that. And I was like, oh,
dude, I remember
so
like
good.
when they started their set, and it was like you, me, and everyone else, and they started with Awake. And we're all like, you know,
we're
it's
all
like
crying. We immediately, it was
like,
immediate tears.
Here we go.
It was immediate sadness. It was immediate sadness.
Yeah, and it's like, you know, it's like, all right, this band's been trying to come to America for so long, and like you see, they're, you know, it was just seamless. They just walk on and it just like started, and it was like, oh, dude, it was the best feeling.
Oh, they were fantastic, guys. Go check. I mentioned it in a previous podcast, but I'll say it again. They're one band to see live if you have not. But
dude, actually, yo, I have that vinyl box set for The Greatest Mistake of My Life.
Oh, gee, I was gonna get it, and then I was like, the self-title has been so hard for me to get, so I got that instead. But I kind of regret it because I did see that they posted both of them up on Sharp Tone, so I'm like, probably gonna have to get
I did get the self-title of that show, and I went up to like, I think it was their bass player. I think he was like hanging around. I forget his name. He was hanging around like, I'm like, listen, I have this already. I'm gonna get this. And I think like the fact that like he was like, you know, you can just tell it's like someone from America has that box set. Like, holy crap.
Yeah. And they were great. I mean, they were super nice. Like, shouts to them.
Yeah, they're very humble.
They were very humble, super nice dudes. So big shouts to Holding Absence. But next question, Billy, a fun one. If you guys could pick a song to cover, what would it be?
We're actually talking about what song to cover now because we want to like, when we do our album release show, we want to like kind of throw in a cover there.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
I think it was Tip Your Bartender, I think is in there, like by the I think that's in there. There was like a few that was also suggested, and like we covered like we did like one set where like we covered The Used, and then we did like a little emo night in our town at the Underground, and like we mixed in like our songs with like some covers, and we covered a lot of stuff that day. Trying to think what else, but I don't know. Like, I like doing covers, but I kind of like, I don't know. I like doing covers, and I also don't like doing covers because, like, I don't know. Fair enough. Like, I like our original stuff, and, like, you know, when you're starting, like, and you throw in, like, a couple covers, it's kind of like, but, you know, a cover here and there is, like, not bad. You know, I've been, like, getting better with the idea of covers, But yeah, I think the one we're talking about right now is like Tip Your Bartender, maybe Cosmopolitan Blood Loss, but I don't think so. I think that one's a little too extreme. But and there was like another one we were talking about. So I don't know. You might see those. You might see a Thursday song. I don't know. You might see something at some point.
There we go. Well, guys, if you have any suggestions for Am0ra, drop them in the
Yeah,
comments. I'm sure they'll check them out, take a look, and who knows, maybe they might be covering that sooner than later.
yeah.
But the next question I have for you, Billy, for those who are familiar with your band or maybe not familiar with your band, what would be one Am0ra track you would recommend them to listen to first?
There's gonna be a toss up between Stay Pony and Silver Tongue. Stay Pony, I think, would be cool if it's like listening to us now. But like, if you wanted a little bit of everything, and like I think like one of our favorite songs that like we all personally like love,
Hmm.
it's Silver Tongue for sure. I think that's like one of the ones that like I don't know. There's something about that song that it's just like one of our all time
Sure.
absolute favorites.
Those are both great choices. I'll leave them in
Yeah.
the description. I love Silver Tongue as well. But
Mm.
Stay Pony. I listened to it only. I only listened to it for the first time like probably about you know an hour ago, and I'm
Yeah.
definitely gonna go back and listen to it again
Yeah,
because it was
yeah, man.
awesome. So
Thank you. Yeah, no, it's one of those songs that's like nice, fast, and like short. So you just keep like replaying it. It's like it leaves you wanting more. Actually, that's also it's a lyric in there too. It leaves you like like, but like it leaves you, yeah, it just leaves you wanting more.
I feel
And
like
mm,
going further. Like I'm curious how like how far reaching you guys are gonna go sound wise. So that I think for me as
oh,
like a
dude, wait till you hear the rest of the EP. There's some curveballs on there. Like there's some curveballs on there.
all
Like I don't want
right.
to give too much away, but there's like one song that's like absolute. It's an absolute curveball. Yeah.
I'm so excited for that. So
The
very
way I
very
describe
cool.
it to people when I talk about it, it's like the first half's like balance, composure, and nothing meets like counterparts of Six Year Guns at the end. Like
Ooh,
that's the way I look
okay.
at it.
All
Yeah,
right,
that's the
all
way I
right,
think
all
about the
right,
song.
all
Yeah,
right, Billy. All right, all right. I
yeah,
can work with that. I can work with that.
yeah.
But guys, I'll leave both songs in the description. Go check them out, and obviously
Mm.
look forward to new music coming soon. But the next question, Billy, another fun one. Obviously, as you're being a PA native and me being a PA transfer person, I have to ask this: what is your favorite food to eat?
From PA specifically,
It
or
doesn't
like
have to be from PA specifically. I just figured I'd mention that.
what's my favorite food to eat? Dude, that is a great question. Let's think. So I moved out recently on my like I live with my brother now, but and it's like I've been cooking all the time.
Oh, nice. Same.
Um, I'm sorry to all my vegan and vegetarian friends. I really love steak. I also got into like rare steak recently, and I kind of really like rare steak, or like just I like I like seasoning the steak. I like cooking it, so it's kind of like rare, medium rare, and I like slicing it. I just don't. It's good. I hate to say it. I'm sorry. Like I really do enjoy steak. Salmon's up there too. I eat kind of bougie. Um,
That's
I
a
can
flex.
go. Um, I also have been like making really crazy recipes of like ramen noodles and stuff like that. Like I don't just like make ramen. I make like a million things and put in the ramen
I
too.
feel that. Yeah.
Yeah, and honestly, yeah, you know what? Steak. I do really enjoy like rare, medium rare steak. I'm a scumbag. I'm sorry.
I've listen. I as someone who also cooks a lot, and
Yeah,
as you know, I can appreciate your answer that much more because I
yeah,
also cook, and I'm like sometimes the food that I make, I'm like. Yeah, I gotta pat myself on the
yeah,
shoulder because I'm like, holy shit! I'm like, I made this shit. This was awesome. So,
yeah.
I
I
feel,
did.
I feel you on
My
that.
girlfriend is vegetarian, and one time, like we'll go
Oh,
out and like to like vegan places and stuff like that. Like I don't mind. Like I don't mind. Like I'll eat anything. And then like we went out to like a
same.
vegan diner, and like everything there was like vegan, and like honestly, amazing. Like I had
Yeah,
like a meatball like sub sandwich or something like that, and like so good, so good. Or like Beyond Chicken, really good. That shit's like I'll have that shit like all the time. I just kind of like whatever's kind of there. um,
yeah.
I sometimes like daydream about going like vegan or vegetarian like one day. Like I just do. I just like I'm a very big protein person. Like I need protein like function. I mean,
Same.
I think everybody
Yeah.
does. And like, you know, There was like one time where I tried going vegetarian for like a month and like it worked, but like I just wasn't getting enough protein and I was going like crazy. And like like since then I'm like, I'm gonna just be me. I'm gonna just if it's like whatever's there is there, and like maybe one day, but not now. I'll lose
I
my weight.
I'm kind of in the same boat as you, because like there was one stretch where all I ate was just like vegetarian stuff or like
Yeah,
vegan stuff, and I was like, man, this is really good. But I also feel like if they could, and I've made this point a few times, and no offense to vegans or vegetarians, I love all of you guys equally, but
yeah.
I feel like if they can find a substitute for like bacon, I convert immediately.
I
You
feel
know what
like
I mean?
there is. I feel like there should be. Like, dude, I saw Beyond Beef Jerky the other day, and I was like,
What?
what?
That is
Yeah,
wild. I mean, I
yeah.
don't mind it. I feel like I'm kind of like in the same boat as you, where like I could convert if I really wanted to, but like there's
Isn't
some
Jed vegan? Is Jed vegan? I think Jed's
Jed
vegan.
just has a bunch of allergies. I feel that's
Yeah, no,
it.
he does.
I don't think
He's
I don't think he's vegan like for a choice. I think he has to be like he has to
yeah,
eat certain things because otherwise he'll like die. So
yeah. Like we toured a Home Secret, and I remember actually like I even toured a Home Secret my own time back when like they were a band because like
mhm.
I did a photo tour with them. But yeah, I'm pretty sure Jed is either vegetarian or vegan. I'm pretty sure he is.
We'll
Like I
have
don't think
to
I ever,
confirm.
yeah. Yeah, no, I'm pretty sure we got to hit him up and confirm that.
But anyway, yeah, I kind of feel the same way. Like I could do it, but there are certain things that
Mm,
if they were to like somehow find a really good replacement for that in my like diet, I'd be on point. But
yeah.
next question, Billy. If you were to pick somebody to collaborate with, whether to have them as a guest feature on an up and coming Am0ra record or to produce your record, who would you want to choose?
Dang, dude, that's a tough one. Let me look at my records. Dang, that's tough. All right. If I had to guess, if I had to get a guest feature, right?
Guest feature. Yep.
Jeff Rickley of Thursday,
Nice.
Luke, and Lucas from Holding Absence.
Woo!
I think those two would be awesome. Those two would be awesome. Like, yeah. Maybe not on the same song. I think they both need like their own like space to like shine.
Yeah.
But Jeff Rickley and Lucas Woodland, like that would be, whoo, that would be really really good. If someone were to produce us, Ross Robinson, and this is why. Ross has produced like the newest Touche Amore record, but he also like produced the Glassjaw records,
Yeah.
produced
Yeah.
Slipknot, produced like all those bands. And like there's like he just does crazy shit. Where like when you record like when Joey Jordison was recording the first Slipknot record, Ross bought all these potted plants and threw them at him while he was recording drums, and he had to avoid them. And he does like stuff like that in order to bring the best out of you. It's and I think like it's kind of like I think that's kind of cool. Well, I don't know. I just think I think there's like more stories. I can't think of other ones, but like I just knowing that story, like imagine like being Joey Jordison and then like you're getting
Oh my god.
plants thrown at you. Like I think that's funny. I mean it's like tragically funny, but it's just like
Holy
it's
shit.
like you have to avoid these things and then like you're getting your aggression out, you're hitting harder, and then like that's what makes the sound. Or like when Korn was recording I think it was Daddy, I think it was that song, and like Jonathan Davis is crying, and they all didn't really know what to do, like that was all on the spot, they didn't really know what to do, and Ross just keep going, and like they just kept going, and that's how that part was like formed, and like
My
that's why you
god.
hear that crying over the instrumentals. Like just the fact that he has like an eye for like that type of stuff is like I think just like cool. Like producer isn't just looking at it like, okay, you like the part, okay, cool, it's done. It's like, no, how can I bring the best out of you
Oh
in the
my
most
god.
natural way?
Throwing potted plants and apparently just allowing the emotions to carry you to
Yeah,
the
and hey,
next level. I mean, that's great.
Slipknot got huge. Slipknot got huge. That was the album Slipknot got huge on. Like like it was that.
I respect
Orange.
those. I respect those answers. Those that I feel like that. I feel like some people have given me answers and they've been great, but I feel like yours was like more on point because I was like, very rarely do I have someone say like, "Hey, I would love shit to get thrown at me so I can like play my
Yeah,
instrument with more aggression."
yeah. Just I'm no stranger to unpredictable situations. So like, I think like, like I think it would just be like, all right, what's he gonna do? What's he gonna do? And then at least expect it, some crazy shit happens.
Oh, 100%, 100%. But guys, if you want to see that happen, you go onto Twitter, you type in Am0ra onto Twitter, then you
Yeah.
also tag Jeff and Lucas and
And Ross
Ross
Robinson.
and Ross Robinson, and you
Well,
say collab.
now that we're saying all that, a record produced by Ross Robinson with a song featuring Lucas Woodland and a song featuring Jeff Wrigley. I think that would be my favorite thing we ever do. I think that would be my favorite. Like this new EP is my favorite thing that we've ever done. But like I think that would be the. I think Chris. I can speak for Chris too. Chris, that would be the favorite thing Chris has ever done too. Like it would overall be great because like Chris and I would like obsess over like Ross Robinson and like just like shit like that.
Fair enough, fair enough. But guys, if you want to see that happen, you want the manifestation to be real.
Yeah,
that's what you do. Listen, I don't control the internet, but if you guys want to see it happen, the ball is out of my court. It is into the ether here. So make it rock. But next question, Billy. Personal favorite of mine because I'm a huge nerd, so I love to ask it. If you could be a video game character, who would you be? I knew as soon as you hit me with the clap, I already knew I had the right guy.
Yeah. All right. A few. Can I say a few?
Fair enough.
I do have it. Actually, Aaron Basket did this, but I do have a Kingdom Hearts tattoo. I'm actually
you said Hollow Bastion, so I figured as much.
Yeah, I'm his very first Kingdom Hearts tattoo. So I would definitely be Sora or like someone who would like wield a Keyblade for sure.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Flex.
I don't know if I would ever want to be Captain Price, but I think Captain Price is just awesome. I think Captain Price is just the guy. I'm trying to think of what else I've been playing. I gotta get back into this game because like I started it and I just haven't beat it. But The Witcher, like I would. Dude, being a Witcher would be badass. Like I think being a Witcher would be so sick. Okay. Trying to think. I'm on to something. I want to be Leon Kennedy from Resident Evil.
Resident Evil.
I want to be Leon Kennedy or like someone in Resident Evil is one of my favorite. Also, same with Chris. Like Chris and I share a lot of similarities, especially when it comes to video games. I would kill to be in Resident Evil. I think being in Resident Evil would be so fun. Like, maybe not fun, it'd be terrifying.
I was gonna say.
It'd be like great. I don't know if I want to be Ethan. Like Ethan is a great character, but like some of his dialogue is kind of just like bland. I mean, that's kind of the Resident Evil way. It's just like
Fair enough.
Yeah, it's absolutely cheesy dialogue, but like, okay, actually, one more character I think. I want to just be in Far Cry 3. I want to like be Far Cry 3. I don't know if I would be Voss or Jason. I think I would fit with Jason, but Voss is one of the greatest villains of all time that can never be replicated. Like I think like I respect where Far Cry is going now, and like I still play the Far Cry games, but like Voss is just untouchable as a villain. Like, and who else would I be? Maybe not video game, but if I could be, I would be James Bond. I would be James Bond for sure. Or if I could, James Bond, my favorite movie series ever. My goal in life, I don't know if I can ever be like James Bond, but if I can be in like a James Bond movie as like a cameo for like a minute, that would make me happy. I want to be in like the same universe as James Bond.
Fair
Unfortunately, enough. Daniel Craig is done. Like, Daniel Craig's done being Bond. Like, I would kill to be in a Daniel Craig film, but like, I just want to be in a James Bond film for like 1 to 5 minutes. Like that's it.
Just to show up in a movie.
Even just like maybe a minute. Like, just kind of like how Stan Lee does this thing. Like, I just want to be like, hey, can I please be in a James Bond movie? I gotta have some like clout in order to do that, or meet somebody that like works on those movies.
The connections, you gotta get the connection.
I'm making it happen.
There we go. Well, hopefully it happens. I feel like I would also like to be on a movie set and just be a cameo, or not even a cameo, just an extra. I feel like that'd be very cool. So I feel like we're on the same wavelength with that. But you gave me some really good answers. I gotta say the Resident Evil one was really cool, even though I don't think I'd ever want to be in that universe, just because
Yeah, I wouldn't want to get my wrists like chainsawed off.
Preferably would not want to do that, but I respect the answers. So good choices. But if I had to pick a top tier one, it obviously be Sora. I mean, yours answer for Sora. But if I know I've been asked this question, and I'm gonna keep consistent because it is truly my favorite video game character. But it's got to be the Pokemon trainer from Gold and Silver. He's
Respect. I dig that. I dig that.
that's my shit. You know that
Yeah.
that is forever a game that I will love for the end of time. So I have to give it that respect. But next question, Billy. If you were to combine like a musical dream tour of yours, including Am0ra, who would be on it?
I think about this stuff all the time. Okay, one tour I can think of all the top of my head is the Distress the US, like how do you say it? Distress the US tour of like Barrier, Villains, or well, You Forever Villains, they were villains at the time. Gift Giver, Traders, and Adalia. That was like one of my favorite tours of all time that I ever saw. And I saw that tour twice, and that was actually, did I see it twice? Yeah, I think I saw it twice. Yeah, that tour was awesome. Trying to think. Like, dang, I'm trying to think of like tours that happen that like I like a concerts. I would kill a tour of Pianos Become Teeth, or like play a show of Pianos Become Teeth, or just like I don't know, do like one of their little weekenders that they do pianos is like one of my favorite bands.
They're great. Yep.
Yeah, actually, you know what? When we wrote 7414 off the EP, I mean, I would don't go and listen to that now. I mean, if you want to go listen to that now, go do it. But like, you should really re-record that EP. But yeah, that song was inspired by Liquid Courage. But like all their new stuff too. Like I like them as a screamo band. I love them as the band they are now. I think I love them a little more as the band they are now. But anything with pianos. Okay. One tour, I don't think we would fit on this at all, but I'd still do it. It was the Dollar Menu, Where's the Venue tour. It was
I think I
It
know
Prevails,
Yeah.
co-headlining with I don't know if it was Betrayal or here.
You're really trying to jog my memory here. I know. I think oh man.
Wait, hold
I
on.
know I saw that and I can't remember it now. That's the products of getting old.
Wait, hold up. Okay, it Prevails and Betrayal with Volumes, and this is like Volumes, like concept of Dreaming Era.
Ooh.
Okay, that is actually another band that's like been a huge inspiration on me is Volumes.
Oh, class.
Counterparts and Bermuda are also on that. And then if we could tour with Structures, I would like that. We were gonna play Canada back in December, and we couldn't because Tristan and I both got COVID. Yeah, big bummer. But we were gonna play Sneaky D's, and let me tell you, I spent so much time of my life, starting at like 14 years old, watching videos of Structures play Sneaky D's.
It is a great venue.
Finally, getting to play there.
Oh my god.
And yeah, it is a bummer. I mean, it will happen again.
It will.
One day. It will happen again one day. You know, but I would any of like the Structures tours or like any tour that like D-Dub designs as designed a flyer to, I just say yes. I would do it. That's like my favorite era of music is like that. Like
I feel that. I actually love the new Structures EP. That was great. None above.
Oh, dude, I have it on vinyl. I'm so happy it came out. I wanted it to come out for like, you know, I was like, be sick if we got like one more thing for them because like I really, really like Brendan as a vocalist. I love like, you know, I also love Nick as a vocalist, but I love Brendan. I think he brings like such a punkier energy to it. And,
100%.
Yeah, but like, you know, obviously Divided By and all the above are so fantastic. But like, then they call it None of the Above. I'm like, that's so dope. And like, you know, the same guy who does like, you know, like the same guy who does like Counterparts, like or like Trey the Ruler. The same guy who does like Counterparts, like Art did it, and like just, everything about it was just perfect, and it was just so. The dude who mastered the EP or like mixed and mastered it, I think it was like also like a huge like he's worked with like a lot of like pop artists and stuff like that. So like the mix is just perfect. Like everything about the EP is perfect, especially after Divided By how like, you know, everybody was like trashing the mix. And like this one was like, oh, it's so good. Just yeah, dude, like Gone Dead, dude. That song is like woo.
That was
and it has like a little like the synthy like like like
Yeah.
those things like, in the middle, like, and it just gets like heavy and polarizing.
Oh,
Like, yeah,
it was
great.
so good. It was so good. But yeah,
Yeah,
I I gotta give a shout out to Sneaky D's. I'll tell a brief story. So it's the only show that I've gone out of the United States to see.
yeah,
And shout outs to the homies, the Parallel and the Northern. I went to go see them play at Sneaky D's.
yeah,
And that was great. It's such a cool venue. So
yeah,
big love to those two bands because they're great.
yeah. Did you
Um,
go to the show? I think I booked. Yeah, I did book the Northern. I booked the Northern
yes,
at like yeah,
it was with Ascend Like Wolves, Varsity. I'm pretty sure
yeah,
that was the one I went to.
yeah.
That was great. That was a
I
great show
think
too.
I think Varsity moved. Varsity moved the Sonic Wolves merch table out and put it
Up
on
to the
top.
top, it was on top of their van or some shit.
Yeah, no, that was hilarious. That was actually I was like watching it happen. Like, what are these guys doing?
They love each other so much, so
I know.
it's great.
Yeah.
But the next question, Billy, I got kind of alluded to it a little bit earlier, so I didn't want to stop you. But favorite TV show, favorite movie?
All right. I'm trying to think of favorite movies without saying Casino Royale and
You could
every
have said
Daniel
you
Craig
could say
film and
that.
like
That's
okay, Casino Royale is like one of the best movies ever made, hands down. Skyfall is also one of the best. Daniel Craig era James Bond, amazing, amazing. Like that's not to say any other guys were not amazing because like I think they're all amazing in their own ways. I think Daniel Craig is like the one I like identify with for like the one that's like to me is like the realest one. I mean like Sean Connery is still perfect.
yeah, yeah,
Like
yeah.
all of them are perfect. All of them are perfect because like
Yeah.
I was a Pierce Bronson guy for a while, but like Daniel Craig brought this whole cold energy to James Bond and made him
Fair enough.
like human rather than like what like the movies make out to be a spy film. Like I thought that was cool. But other movies I'm trying to think of. Okay, one of my all-time favorite movies is Grindhouse Planet Terror. Like I don't know if you ever have you ever seen that Robert
I've
Rodriguez.
never.
It's mainly like there's this one like character who's like a dancer and like she gets her leg eaten off and then like it's such an exploitation film, but El-Ray, like the main guy who's this like ex-con, like, makes a leg out of like an M16 like assault rifle and puts it on her leg, and her leg shoots bullets. Like it has a grenade launcher on it.
Oh
It's
my
so
god.
you will never see this happen in real life. But
No.
he like broke off her peg leg and just put this on and like she's like walking around and like she's doing like dance moves and stuff like that, but like killing zombies at the same time. I thought that was like one of the coolest things. I was like, I don't know, like exploitation films are kind of like something that like low key like love, like anything like Tarantino or Robert
Sure.
Rodriguez, or, like,
Yeah.
anything from like that era. I think those are just so cool and like it's so like the movie Machete, dude. The movie Machete, it's just like the whole trailer for it is just like it gives you everything and nothing at the same time. Like it tells you barely anything about the story. It just shows you the action that happens, and you're like, "Yo, this is sick." Like the priest like goes into his like trunk and pulls out two shotguns and just
Yep.
goes like I thought that was like stuff like that. Like I was like one of those kids like I saw that I was like that is so cool. So I would say like movies like stuff like that. I like I've been watching like my girlfriend like loves horror movies and stuff like that, so I've been like obviously watching that. Actually, we just saw Fantastic Beasts, like not a horror movie, but we saw
Yeah.
Fantastic Beasts and like the new one recently, like in 4D, and I thought that was awesome. Also, Matt Mikkelsen's a great actor.
Yes.
Uh, favorite TV show? I don't really watch too much TV. I'm kind of more of like a YouTube guy, but
Fair
if I had
enough.
to watch a TV show, I think it would be like any MTV era like reality show, like Viva La Bam. I think
Yeah.
I would watch for sure. Like Viva La Bam, Jackass, Mac Miller and the Most Up Family is like the one I will try watching when I have like I didn't even know there was like a Mac Miller TV show, and like when I have like absolute boredom, I will watch it. Trying to think of what else. I was on a bachelor party and we were all watching Entourage, and then like I realized my dad loves Entourage, and like I would go in like back when like my brother and I lived with like our parents, like
Mhm.
I would like go in the house and like my brother is watching Entourage and my dad is watching Entourage, but in two separate rooms on two different episodes.
That's great.
And then I'm watching Entourage.
Entourage, yeah.
Yeah, so Entourage is a funny one, and Trying to think of other TV shows, but I think that's it. I tried watching that Resident Evil like anime series on Netflix, and I thought it was actually like really well done. I thought it was really well done. I don't know, anything it's like Resident Evil TV movies could like be a little better. You know, like I don't know. I don't think you can make many movies based off a video game. I just don't think you can do it because like it's just not the same like Assassin's Creed. Like no one, no one. I don't think anybody liked that movie. I don't think anybody liked that movie, and I feel so bad. But it's just like it's so hard to take a video game and make a movie out of it. But I would say that those before I go into like a whole like thing of just like what I think I like, but stuff like that. I have tried watching Euphoria and like some like those popular shows,
Sure,
and
yeah,
like
yeah.
I like those a lot. I just like my attention span sucks. I need to like watch things like small, like short, and like just like stinty, and like just I don't know. Some things are a little too much for me, and like sometimes
Fair
I'm just
enough.
not enough in detail. I did watch an episode of Peaky Blinders recently, and like I'd never seen Peaky Blinders before, and that's like something I really want to watch more. But I don't know. I'm a Pisces with ADD, so like I start a lot of things, and like, dude, I have books I started and never finished. I'm probably never gonna finish. The same thing with TV shows. I watch them, start them, never finish them. So yeah, yeah, man. I'm looking at all my books I have like right here, and I'm just like, yeah, I've only
I'll
read like
start
maybe.
them. I feel that. I feel that. I will. Jump on that whole thing about like YouTube and watching. Like it's just great. You watch a
Yeah,
YouTube video, it's done. And you can go live your life. I feel that. So
yeah.
that's important.
Also, it's
But
kind of cool to like watch like old nostalgic video games sometimes and just like rewatch things and just like hear someone talk about it. I don't know. Like I used to be like, why would you watch someone play video games? And then I'm watching someone like play video games talking about it. I'm like, dang, what a great era this was. I really like the level. I really like this. I like that. And like maybe I'll go out and like play that game or something like that. And then I'll either play it and like either like love it or I'll get sick of it because I'm like, all right, this game came out in like 2005. It is currently 2022. These controls and everything are
garbage.
outdated. Yes.
Yeah,
I,
I
I
feel that.
want to play. I want to play in it, and I want to enjoy Silent Hill so bad, so bad.
I'm sure the
But the
controls are
controls
terrible.
suck. I hate the controls. I can't make it past more than 15 minutes. Like I
Oh,
tried. I've
oh.
tried. I've tried. I can't do it.
Oh man. Well, I feel that. I feel that on an emotional level, as
Yeah.
being a very big video game fan. So there are some games that I have that I'm like, I don't know if I want to play that, but I love it still. So
Yeah.
I'll keep the nostalgia in the head,
Yeah.
and that will go further from there. But next question, Billy, if you're trapped on a desert island for the next month and there was one album you could bring with you to listen to, what album would it be?
I don't want to just say my favorite album because like all my favorite albums I'm not like sick of, but like I've listened to them like millions of times. It was a good record collection. Um, dang. I think what would I listen to if I was stuck on a desert island? Via by Volumes, Shedding Skin by Adalia. I mean, those are my two. I would probably say in that. I don't know. I don't know. I think I would just what's the Pina Colada song? I would listen to that.
I have no idea.
Or I don't know. I maybe if I could make a mixtape, I would be Pina Colada song "I'm Yours" by Jason Derulo or whatever his name was. I don't know. I can go like I think it's so good for the key.
I think it's I think it's Jason Mraz.
Yeah, I would bring maybe a Gym Class Heroes record. I don't know which record I would take yet, but I would probably like maybe Paper Cut Chronicles one. Trying to
That's a good
think.
one. Yeah,
I don't know. I don't know.
it's a difficult one.
If I was also trapped on a deserted island, I would find some way to make fire and get off the deserted island. People are like, you're trapped on a deserted island. Like, yeah, that gives me like 24 hours until I die. I mean, yeah, I don't know. I would find something creative to do with my time. Maybe I'll listen to The Blueprint by Jay-Z. Maybe I don't know, but
Well, that was a very honest answer, and I appreciate
yeah,
that. The second to last question I have for you, Billy, I've been asking this to a lot of the artists I've been having on recently, so I figured I'd pose this question to you. For those of you who have made it to the end of this video, salutes, love you dearly. But if there was one thing that you could pass off to a fan, whether lyrically, musically, or a combination of the two, with Am0ra, what do you want people to take away from your band, you know, what you guys do and like the lyrics or music or something like that?
Hmm.
It's a very deep question, I know.
Yeah, that's a very deep question. That's a good question. I never thought about that. Um, I don't know. I think one thing that our band has that like I don't want to say like not a lot of other bands have, or like you may not see this at first, but
Sure.
we're all friends first. Like we're a friend group, and friendship's very important. Um, you're living in an era right now where like when we were growing up, bands would go on tour forever, and like
Yeah.
they wouldn't go home or anything like that, or I don't one of my my friend Greg, he's in the band Actor Observer, and his brothers are like his one brother is Billie Eilish's tour manager, and like he used to play in the band Therefore I Am,
Oh,
and
nice. Yeah.
his other brother plays like played in Vanna and plays in Spirit.
That's so
Yeah,
sick.
yeah, and actually it's kind of funny because like one time I asked Greg this question, and I was like, your family ever get mad at you for like not selling enough records? Like like, I was like, because like I grew up in like my family was like kind of like sporty and stuff like that. And, like I was like the one that like did music, but I was like like because it would be like yo, you're not doing good at like lacrosse or anything like that. But it's like, does your family ever be like, hey, you didn't get a gold record this like did like and but the way he told me was like his brother or one of his brothers, forget who, was very, I don't want to say the word was envious, but he's like, it's so cool that you guys can be a band and tour on your own terms and do, what you want on your own terms because like you didn't have to sell your apartment just so you can go on tour. You didn't have to like, break up with your significant other so you can tour. You didn't have to like, lose everything and sleep on a couch just so you can tour. Like, you can do it on your own terms because like I think a lot was put on bands at that time and especially because like the one dude was in Vanna and the other wasn't like Therefore I Am and like those bands like grinded all the time and
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
about that all the time because like you're seeing things change right now. You're seeing things go from like 30-day tours to like only get off and go on another tour to like 7-day tours, 4-day runs, like weekenders. You're seeing that a lot more often because like
Yeah. Yeah.
nobody really wants to like can really quit their job or anything like that to like
Yeah. Yeah. Unfortunately.
yeah, and like there is money in music, like like I'm a house manager and like I oversee like what bands like get paid and stuff like that. Like there's money, but it's only like if you can make it work. And
Sure.
so I think what this all really leads to is like don't I guess like maybe don't take yourself too seriously. Obviously, you do need a level of seriousness. You need a level of professionalism, but you also just need to be yourself, and you need to be friends. And if you don't have a good friendship with like your band, I think that will lead to like a lot of a lot of disconnects and a lot of just not good times. Like no one wants to be in a van with people for like hours on end when like shit like hit the fan like before that. I mean that stuff still happens, but like you want to be able to like talk about your stuff and like move on and just like hug it out and
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
there's some bands that are like really focused on numbers and like I'm kind of a person like naturally I'm focused on numbers and how things do, but I also just gotta like breathe and just like let things be things and um that just everything is different and you're here for a reason and you're here at this point for a reason, whether like in your career and that yeah we're all honestly man like we're all kids, like we're all kids and we're all in bands and like there's all of us who have like really stuck through this and that how am I going to say this we're all experiencing our first levels of the next rest of our life, whether it's fame quote unquote or like signing to labels,
Yeah. Yeah.
doing big tours with other artists that like we grew up listening to. Like we're in this point right now where there's farewell tours and like anniversary tours and the older bands are coming out and the new bands are coming out. So with that, it's just, don't take yourself too seriously. Don't get too far ahead of, your yourself. Don't doom and gloom end all be all things. Just like take things day by day. Take things day by day. Enjoy the ride. Because, if you're band, like a band like Structures, and I think they said this, but like, Structures got signed when they were like anywhere from like they signed us from like 17 to 21 years old. Like that's the
Yeah.
age. And
Yeah.
like, when you're younger, you think like that's like the pinnacle of your life, but like a lot of bands break up, or like people get drug problems, or people have money problems, or people do stuff like that because when they're younger, and they're given so much money and so much opportunities, or so many opportunities, and like they don't know how to navigate that, that almost leads to like despair. And
Hmm.
by the age of like 24, they're addicted to drugs, or like they don't have a good like stable like life work balance, or like
Yeah,
stuff
yeah,
like that. And it's just better just like take things day by day, just breathe. And I still gotta remind myself to breathe when it comes to like doing band stuff and stuff like that. Like it just just don't take yourself too seriously. Friendship first, and just like laugh, enjoy the moment, and just enjoy it. Just enjoy and have fun, and like but still just like be professional, still be on your stuff, and like just balance it. I think that's the biggest takeaway I could say, because like those are all lessons like I had learned.
yeah.
And yeah, if you can listen to our band and take something away from it, I think it's just it's just balance.
There we go. Well,
Yeah.
again, I really like that, just because like I kind of I feel like sometimes as you being a YouTuber, you struggle with the just the
Mm.
rat race of like trying to compare yourself to other channels, or like, and you push yourself too far. And I mean, I've definitely been in that boat, and I
Mm.
think that the more that I continue to do YouTube, I know that there has to be like a healthy respect to doing
Yeah.
it, and that you can do it, you can do well, you can like keep going with it, but like there is a
Mm.
point where you have to be like, I got to take time for me. This
Yeah,
is
exactly.
I do this shit because I enjoy doing it, but like it shouldn't be killing me at the end of the day because I'm like, oh, I didn't post that video, or I didn't do this album review, or I
Yeah.
didn't do this or whatever and stuff. So I feel like kind of similarly to being in a band, you got to have that healthy admiration
Mm.
for being in a band and enjoying the ride, but also at the same point, like you have to know when it's, when you've gone too far, and to kind of
Yeah.
have that realization of it.
Yeah, absolutely, dude. And like we all had a talk recently, and I think we all agree like this is like the best time the band's really been at. Like not like with just like, you know, being known, or like, anything like that, but just like as like a internal working.
Collective. Yeah.
Yeah, it's sort of collective. Just because like, all of us have lives, all of us have like, jobs now, and like way back earlier, like when I said like, we had like 3 shows by the end of like summer that first year, we would like it was weird for us to play less than 2. Like, we would like play like 2 or 3 shows like every single month, and like that's cool, but like, it takes up a lot of your time. And then like,
Yeah.
then you learn about radius clauses as you start to like as your band starts progressing, you start getting a draw. You start figuring about like, okay, we played this place like 3 weeks ago. You cannot like, and then
Play in
like
that
let's like
area.
see, yeah, we can't. And like, you would like fall in that trap because like, everybody's offering you shows and they're saying how good you're doing, and then it's like, where's your people? Or like, like where is this? And all our lives are changing. Like we've been doing this band. Like I want to say I was starting to be in this band when I was like 18 or 19, and I think it was 18 because we've been a band for like I think 8 years now, going on 8 years. So
Nice.
um like there's moving out. There's
Yeah.
if like some of us went to college and graduating, there's figuring out a job, like
Yeah.
figuring out how to pay your bills and stuff like that while doing this band. And it's just you have to like abandon how you used to see things and just like adapt to it. And I think I still think it makes it like almost even better doing it now, because like you're making things a lot more exclusive, and like you're just operating at your own terms. And like the best thing you're gonna get out of that is morale. You're gonna have like a
Yeah.
really good morale of it when like everybody can just like breathe and just like have fun. Like we're so used to having band practice all the time, like we had to like take a step back. Let's How about instead of band practice we just chill, like let's just hang
Yeah.
out.
Hang out.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's
And like you
great.
almost forget to do that sometimes, because like you always feel like you have an objective. And like,
Yeah.
yeah, we'll talk about band stuff, all that, but like, I don't want to just be objective based all the time. Like I want to be able to go out to the bar with my friends and like,
Hang out.
enjoy it. Yeah.
And I think it also just I think it just makes the morale a lot better when you go out and tour, because it's not
Yeah.
like, like we were talking about earlier, it's like, you get into that space where you're like, I'm gonna be with this person on the road, like I need to
Yeah.
know we're gonna just be buds, like if shit hits the fan, we're not gonna be like splintered off, You
Yeah,
know, like we're gonna be together, we're a team, you know, and I respect that immensely because
yeah,
I feel
and
like that's tough.
yeah, and like we're starting to also do another thing too, where you know, because like well, one, gas prices are
Yeah.
pretty high, and like you know, like we went to New York recently, and like you know, we took two cars, and like you know, the show did really good. We you know we felt like the crowd like didn't really receive us, which was like you know kind of weird, just because like you know we played this. It's Yonkers, New York. Like, we played there like you know a bunch of times, and
Yeah,
like
yeah,
you know we had people into us, but like you know just it felt like there was a lot of people, but it kind of felt like half band crowd, half like people crowd,
yeah.
or like you know half like normal bar crowd, and
Hmm.
like you know it was like that, and like and that's not to offense like the promoter or anything at all, but like you know it's just like because like you know that's my boy Arthur. He knows like we talked about it,
Yeah.
and like you know
Love
he does
Arthur.
nothing but do awesome things for us. It was just one of those days that just like you know didn't click. But like you know you're driving to New York, and like you know you're hitting all those like gas stations and tolls, and like stuff's like a lot more expensive, and like you know Arthur paid us really well and like all that, but like there's so many shows that don't. There's so many
Yeah,
shows that like
yeah.
hit you up and they're just like, hey, like you know, want to play this show, and then like you're thinking like, you know, like leading up to it, you're like, man, I don't want to play this show. Is
Oh,
anyone
yeah.
gonna come out? You know nothing about it. You like, you know, like you have no info about it, or it's just like, you know, the flyer looks like it was made on a cell phone and like
Yeah.
or Microsoft Paint. Like you're just kind of like, you know, what are we doing? And like one thing that we're kind of started doing is like, you know, we're trying to work out guarantees and deals with
Yeah, yeah.
you know promoters because like we want to be stoked. We want to be stoked to play. We want to be able to like you know bring you our value. Like you know we want you to bring our value while honoring ours. We want to be able to like you know be selective and not just play every single show that's offered to us. Like, and I think when you get to a point like you need to do that. Like you need to like you know because like if there's like five promoters in the area and they're all booking shows and it's like all right well you know more like headline and like you know pull this much like yeah you should head them up but if you do all of that then you're not gonna have a draw
Yeah.
and just you know being able to like you know we're not playing like three shows a month like actually we were gonna play Reading today and like everything I'm telling you about was all stuff that was like worked out beforehand and it was and like you know we were so hyped but you know the venue had to drop it because like the venue was going through some stuff and like, you know, next show we have coming up is June 24th for Kawanashi. That's almost sold out. Like, almost. I think like less than 20 tickets left for that show. So if you're hearing this, get tickets to that show because it's gonna be great.
Yeah.
And like you know, it's like us, Freeze, and like and Cow, and like it's just us three, which is cool because sometimes less is more when it comes to shows like that. You know,
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
not
yeah.
a 10 band show. Like, you know, it's almost sold out, and we love Kawanashi and
Same.
Freeze. Like, you know, like we yeah, we love those bands. Like, and actually, I don't know if you noticed this. You ever watch the Call of Fame conversation video? Because I'm in that video.
Oh shit. Yeah, no,
Yeah,
I was like, yeah,
you know, like my girlfriend and I are
oh
in that video. Yeah,
wow. Holy
yeah.
shit.
Yeah, I'm
That's
like,
great.
as soon as you start, like, you'll see someone in the red flannel. That's me. But yeah, I was Morgan that day, or I'm
Nice.
Morgan. But
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, and it's just like having those things to look forward to, and having all that morale, and just having like, oh, you know, like the excitement. It makes the show that much better than like
Yeah.
driving somewhere for like 3 hours only to get there, and there's like nobody, and like the PA is like there's like half a PA there, and there's just like you know it's just not fun and like you're miserable like you know it's like no like we're way past that stage now we don't want to be there anymore like we want to be able to like book a show know that we're making something from it know that we're bringing people out to it know that we're going to have a fun time the promoter is going to love us you know like we want to you know make sure everything like runs smooth and you know
Yeah.
to us like that's something we want to do and like you know maybe that's not playing three shows a month anymore and that's fine by us like you know, and like when it comes to touring, like, you know, kind of the same thing, you know, not just like, you know, being picky about where we play or like who we play with or, you know,
Yeah.
what works logistically. Like we're planning a little thing for like, our album release. And I don't want to give too much away about it yet, but there's something about this where like every day could be a really cool show with like the
Yeah.
line we're doing, and like how we're doing it, you know, so, you know, or like, it's like doing like a weekender and like you know it's
Yeah.
like each band like you know you just play in like each band's hometown like say you have like three bands you play in like you know their hometowns and
Yeah,
like
yeah.
like whoever plays in whatever hometown, like they'll headline that date, and then boom, you have a sick show right there. And the next show you just rotate, and then like boom, sick show, and you know it's like stuff like that instead of just like driving and like playing to like absolutely nobody. I mean, like it's still a thing you do. It's still a thing like you'll never stop doing, in a sense. But
Yeah.
like it makes all of that just much better.
It makes the experience better, 100%.
Yeah,
Also,
it makes you like, it makes you want to still be in a band. It makes you want to like still enjoy what you're doing and like yeah. Not every show is gonna be terrific or like perfect and all that, but like it's those small steps you take to like just knowing your value and knowing like like knowing your time
mhm.
and like putting it to use and just making everything just better.
I agree. I agree.
Yeah.
Also, shout outs to Arthur Afloat. Love that
I
dude.
love Arthur, dude.
He's great.
Arthur's great. Me and him were like sending photographs like we taken of like bands and stuff like
Oh,
recently.
nice. I had him on probably about a year or two ago from now, but love that dude. Shouts to Arthur.
Yeah.
Miss you, bud.
One of my favorite tours I ever did was the when I did photos for them and we I got to like be in the band with them like and we were just all I already knew all of them but then we just became a lot closer from there. And, like
Oh, that's nice.
Arthur's one of my favorite people. I can actually probably say one of my best friends at this point. Like I don't know, I love Arthur. He's great.
He was great. We Arthur.
He does
We'll
a
have
lot.
to,
He does a
we'll have to
lot.
catch
He
up.
does a lot for his music scene and does a lot for like every band that comes his way. And
Big shouts.
I appreciate him a lot.
But the last thing, Billy, to cap it off and cap it here.
Yeah.
For people who are new to your band or know your band or whatever it may be, tell them where they can find you at on social media. What you guys have coming up, going further, and anything else you want to plug, talk about, things of that nature.
Yeah, so we have like a little name thing going on right now where like there's like a zero in our name, and it's just because like we were kind of going through some stuff and like I don't know, like trademarking scenarios and all that. So we're working on changing that back to an O. We are, but in the meantime, if you want to look us up anywhere, Am0ra PA, but like instead of the O is a zero, so Am0ra PA. Spotify, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, all the same stuff. It's probably the best place to find it. I'm not gonna drop any Napster jokes or anything like that. Maybe Kingdom Leaks. Actually, we made it to Kingdom Leaks one time, and I thought that was one of the greatest moments. I thought that was cool. I was like, yes, please. I was like seeing people's comments. I'm like, yes, download this album. Like, download it. Yeah, find us there. Our next show is June 24th in Philly with Kawanashi at Philamoka, and that's kind of all we have coming up for now until we figure out, like, we're just figuring out what to do with the rest of the EP and stuff like that. I don't want to tell you when it's going to be out because like I don't know, but it's all done. It's all done. It's on my phone. It's all done. But yeah, heading east records and just I think that's the best way to really put it. It's just heading east records and Amore PA. Yep. I don't know. I think that's the best place you can find us. Those are the best places you can find us.
There we go. Well, guys, if you haven't already, definitely go check out Am0ra. It was really great to have Billy on and talk and get to know him a little bit better. Like I said, we had met at the Dayseeker show last weekend, and I was like, I looked over. I'll give the funny story, and then I'll go through my pitch plug thing. But I was at the show. Shout outs to Jed again, and Jose and Corbo, my guys.
Love them.
And I looked over, and I was like, I looked behind me and I was like, that looks an awful lot like Billy. And I didn't, you ever get to those shows and you're like, there's a guy that looks familiar, but you don't want to be like that dickhead that doesn't know the person's name or forgets it or it's somebody else that you think it is and it's not. But I was pretty positive it was Billy. And I was like, I turned around and I was like, hey, are you Billy from Amore? And he was like, oh yeah, I am. I was like, what's up? And I was like, I'm Brandon from Audio Addiction. He's like, what? And then so it was great. It was a great time. It was great to actually meet Billy and his brother. Shouts to you guys.
I'm glad we actually got to have a conversation that day because as soon as I walked in, I forgot what House of Independence looks like when it's sold out.
Same.
Yep. I bumped into Vinny Noto. Vinny played in Premonitions. I think you know him.
Yep.
Vinny, Dom. I'm gonna butcher his last name.
Dom. I love Dom. I'm not gonna butcher his last name, but he's
Dom L.
Dom L.
What? Legod, I think. Legod. I don't know.
I'm not good. I think it's Dom Lagote.
I hope he forgives me for saying that. Yeah, I bumped into them and I was trying to catch up, but they're going one way, we're going the other. We just walked in. They're trying to go out for a cigarette or something like that. I don't know, but and I'm also with my brother and he doesn't go to shows often, so I'm trying to I don't want to ditch him or anything like that. So I was like, oh yeah, what's up later? And then I saw I did see Ryan Santos from Born Anew. It was cool seeing him.
Yes,
Really cool
Ryan was
seeing him.
sick. Yeah.
And yeah, Louis, yeah. Um, but yeah, no, like I was just like seeing all those guys when like we're just like hanging down there, and like I saw Jed, I saw Jose, I saw Cuervo, and like then I saw you, and like it was cool to like hang out, and, like actually like talk, and it was also cool seeing like my brother like get along with you guys because like I'm always introducing him to people, or like there's bands staying over our house, and like I'm like,
Yep.
hey man, you don't know these guys, but you'll end up loving them.
Yeah. Your brother was sick, so shout outs to Billy's brother. But
Yeah, yeah, Mike Z.
Mike, my man Mike. But anyway, go check out Amore. Again, links in the description to find out about them. If they have anything coming up, if you live in Philly, go out to that show. I have to get tickets, so I will
Yeah,
probably
Kawanashi PA at big cards or like .bigcartel.com, or I think it's just Kawanashi PA.com.
I'm gonna have to cop them tickets because I
Buy
did
the
see
apple. If you see the apple, you will actually no, don't buy it. I don't know. Buy the apple. If you see, you may know. Do you know what the apple is?
I feel like I know what it is, but I don't want to say it on video just in case I actually don't know what it is. So
Okay.
I'm just gonna leave that be.
It's
But
just a really funny Easter egg. I don't know anything about it other than like when you go to click tickets, it's like apple, and it's just funny. You'll see. Yeah, buy tickets because like I think there's like 20 left, like around 20 left from the last time I checked. It's gonna go sold out. I think
shout
it's
outs
200.
shout outs to
200.
Cow. They're doing some big shit. But
Yeah.
anyway, go check out Am0ra. If you enjoyed this interview, like, comment, subscribe. It goes a long way. I'm very close to 2,000 subscribers here on the channel, so thank you, Billy. Thank you.
There we go, dude. There's some receipts.
Oh, thank you very much. So if you guys want to support me, if you want to see more interviews, let me know. I'm currently getting them, so if you live in the area or if you live internationally, feel free to hit me up. I'm on all social media. But I want to give a big shout out to Billy. It was a pleasure getting to know you that much more, and I'm definitely going to be seeing you a lot more.
Yeah, you will be for sure.
All right, Billy. Well, thank you very much, man. You have a good day, and guys, go check out Am0ra.
Yeah, you too, Brandon. Thank you so much, man. I love this.